Let's focus and talk about a very strong Nifty mover today on the back of its earnings. It's Hindalco Industries beat versus all estimates from their Q1 numbers. And we have the MD, Mr. Satish Pai, who's joining us on the channel today. Mr. Pai, good morning. And of course, strong performance from India's standalone operations. They've offsetted the impact of subdued Novelis performance. Despite global tariff-led turmoil, will India's standalone business continue to report solid performance quarter after quarter?
So the India performance is based on what happens in the Indian economy, and the Indian economy, the demand for aluminium and copper in India is quite strong. Combined with that, we run some very efficient operations, and that is also helping to keep our costs under control. So power costs, coal cost have also been under control. So I think that with the LME ranging between $2,500 to $2,600 per ton, we are fairly confident that the India standalone business will be performing quite strongly for the coming quarters.
All right, but along with that, Mr. Pai, what about the Novelis then? That subsidiary, what is the outlook? Because will the softness continue in Q2 as well? And by when do you expect a recovery in that subsidiary?
As we said yesterday in our earnings call, we think that the Novelis earnings at 416 million have bottomed up during Q1. We think that the measures that we have put in place, where scrap spreads are improving, a cost optimization program is gathering steam, as well as end market demands are pretty strong. So the guidance that we're giving is that Q2 will be more or less equal to Q1. But the second half of this year, you will see meaningful improvement in the Novelis margins and performance.
Sure, sir. And let's revisit the conversation we had last quarter. When we spoke to you, you did tell us that auto demand in Europe, China has been weak, but from auto demand, the auto demand from US rather is steady. What is the status now? Has auto demand from US deteriorated further due to tariffs? Any impact on that front?
It is exactly as what I told you in the last quarter, in the sense that the US can demand is extremely strong and the US auto demand is also very resilient. So we have not seen any weakness in the auto demand in the US so far. Europe and China continue to remain subdued, as I said last quarter as well.
All right, but for Novelis, you have reiterated the long-term EBITDA per ton guidance of $600 per ton. You had withdrawn your short-term guidance at the end of the last quarter, citing tariff-related uncertainty. But directionally, if you can tell us, is the worst behind?
You have also stated we remain committed towards that $600 per ton EBITDA, and that will largely start to come in once our Bay Minet project gets commissioned, which is starting in Q3, Q4 of next year. But in the short term, as I just said earlier, you're going to see Q1 and Q2 at similar levels. But the second half of this year, you will start to see meaningful improvement in the margins in Novelis.
And if you take a look at what the brokerages are making of these numbers, they expect aluminium prices to correct in the global market. Would you concur with this view? Any outlook on pricing?
Our guidance on the aluminium prices, I have always maintained, even if you remember last quarter, that it's going to be between 2,400 and 2,600. So I still stand by that guidance. Now, the volatility in the aluminium is actually coming in the regional premiums. The LME is holding at 25, 2,600 right now. But what you're seeing is the MJP, which is the Japanese premium, is about $120, whereas the Midwest, which is the US premium because of the tariffs, is $1,500. So the fluctuation is being seen in the regional premiums and not in the LME price of aluminium.
Novelis IPO, any timeline that you can share with us?
So we are very focused on commissioning the large 4 billion Bay Minet project. And as I just described earlier, we are very focused on improving margins and performance of Novelis. So I think for this year, these are the two main targets that we are focusing on, and not really any IPO plans.
Sure. And Mr. Pai, since you're saying that Novelis will focus on commissioning Bay Minet and expanding margins in FY26, would it be fair to assume that Novelis IPO is likely in FY27 and maybe not before that?
I think that we should talk when Bay Minet is commissioned as well as the margins improve. And every quarter we talk, so you can ask me then.
Okay, so that's the interaction that we had with the management of Hindalco. Mr. Pai, thanks so much for your time today. So, well, lots of positivity coming in on that stock on the back of strong earnings. Of course, Novelis that reported its numbers earlier, which is the subsidiary of Hindalco, that was slightly muted this time around. But nonetheless, Hindalco numbers seem to have made up for that kind of softness, because take a look at the stock price. It's up 5.2% as we speak, and only second to Apollo Hospitals when it comes to the list of nifty gainers today. But